it's happening in New York, New Jersey, or Long Island. Hear about it with Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.
Alexandra Stanton is here. She's a Democratic strategist, CEO of Empire Global Ventures, someone who lived in France for 2 years and apparently has some Greek blood. Alexandra, I understand you have some Greek blood in your veins.
I am. My mother, who's an immigrant, came here at the age of 8, speaking no English, and is now a distinguished professor at the CUNY Graduate Center.
Wow.
But she came here speaking no English and part of the American dream.
She came from Greece to America.
Yes, she did.
This is a spectacular story. And where's your dad from, if I may ask?
My dad was born here in the People's Republic of Brooklyn, went to Erasmus.
There you go, man.
Unfortunately, no longer with us, but came here, was a lieutenant commander, as was my uncle, of destroyers in World War II against Hitler.
Wow.
Proud to be a
Thank
child
you.
of
Thanks for the
my
service.
father and uncle, of course.
Yeah, thinking about my pop, too. But yet, listen, this is great. Now, look at you. You're bringing jobs to New York. We'll get into all that. But you lived in France. I want to go to
I did.
And were you there, if I may ask?
So there's an organization called Doctors of the World. In French, it's called Médecins du Monde. And they are a medical humanitarian relief organization. They've been around for over 40 years. And whether it's political massacres or natural disasters, I mean, they help people all over the world. And I was lucky enough to get an internship with them, and then they offered me a full-time job.
Wow.
And I stayed.
Wow.
And it was an honor and pleasure. There's no more committed group of people than those who are doing medical humanitarian relief work.
Yeah.
So it was an extraordinary experience.
We know that group. God bless you for doing that.
Thank you.
Where in France, if I may ask? In Paris?
I was based in Paris
Oh,
at their
look at
headquarters.
this. And you speak French, probably.
Yeah, I
Oh,
do.
goodness gracious. And now, so it's Macron. Macron. Like
There you
that.
go.
It is. I like this guy.
He's a terrific guy.
He is, right?
He's a terrific guy. He's great for France and great right now. You know, he's a globalist. He's open. What he knows is that the jobs, for example, that my children will have in the future haven't been invented yet. And so aside from supporting traditional industries, he knows about supporting innovation. So, for example, Station F, 1,000
Thanks
startup
for translating.
campus. My
In case
pleasure,
it went
Joe.
by me. Yeah.
Just saying. Largest startup campus in the world in the middle of Paris. Amazon, Google, and Facebook are there. Opened its doors less than a year ago, going strong, and that's what we need to be doing here.
Now, before we get to the state dinner and working with Donald Trump down there, why is he, I don't want to use the word pandering, why is he playing to, he did a great interview on Fox, Macron did, and why is he playing to America? What is in it for him? To bring business, to bring French business here? Is that what that's about?
Well, let's start with the history of the French and American relationship. They are the oldest and most consistent American ally.
Yeah.
They have been with us
Day
in
one.
every military conflict except Iraq. That is why, not far from here, Joe, we have a street called Lafayette, and there's Lafayette Park in Washington. There's not Churchill Street.
Yeah, interesting.
American Revolution on.
Yeah.
They were at our side.
Yeah.
So there's a real important history there. And I think that Macron has developed, it seems like it started with that handshake between Trump and Macron, right? And Trump doesn't think he's a pushover. Well, Macron has things he thinks are important to achieve, and if he has a relationship, wouldn't you capitalize on those and try to make some hay?
Yeah, but by all means.
Yeah.
What's going to happen with the Iran deal? Is Macron going to tell? I can't get a handle on this because you know how Donald Trump feels about it. Walk away from it. And answer me this, if I may, Alexandra.
Please.
Why does Macron? He likes this deal with Iran, correct?
He likes the deal. I like the deal. We all should like the deal.
Iran deal?
The Iran deal. When the deal was struck, Iran was less than 6 months away from developing a nuclear weapon. Let me repeat. Less than 6 months away from having a nuclear weapon. So it was really important to put a pause on that because I don't know about you, but as a child of someone who served, I don't think Americans want a third war in the Middle East. And it was really important to try diplomacy before we have to go to other measures. And guess what? The deal's holding. That's why he's trying to preserve it.
And what do you think the compromise will be between Donald J. Trump and Macron?
So I think this is really complicated. And I think that for Americans, what they should understand is Macron, I think, is here as a friend of the United States to tell Trump that if the only winners, frankly, of pulling out of the deal will be Russia and China, because then they assume a larger position as global leaders. There are some attempts to try to create some side agreements to keep the states in the deal, but Russia and China aren't part of those attempted negotiations. And they're saying, as is the entire nuclear and security apparatus around the globe, leave the deal as it is. It's working.
Yeah, but Iran, what they did to our sailors, and now what they're doing with Hezbollah, their supporters, this is a terror nation. It's death to Israel and Iran. Don't you want to shut these people down? Don't you want to have nothing to do with them? And can you trust Iran? That's the problem. And I guess I'm speaking the way Donald Trump is going to speak to Macron.
Sure.
And he will tell the president what?
Well, over 90% of the plutonium and uranium has left Iran. There are international inspectors who go in, who make sure those dangerous products that can weaponize to a nuclear weapon have left the country. So it's not about trust. It's about trust but verify. And the IAEA is going in every few months and making sure they're holding to the deal.
All right. But you know what? And 877-970-2990. I know folks are going to have something to say about that. And then with Syria, how does Macron deal with Donald Trump on Syria? Do we join this coalition? I always said there should be this international rapid deployment, UN kind of NATO-based strike force. That's the global effort I want to see. You know, I believe in America first, but militarily, because it's always on our back. Now we're going to go to Syria. Frankie Five-Burrows talks about it all the time. So what do you think Macron and Donald Trump are going to talk about in regards to Syria?
I think Macron is actually going to probably lead with the Iran deal. I think that's probably going to be top of his mind. And then I think he's going to talk about the recent efforts in Syria and what should happen in the wake of the joint efforts that we made there.
Hey, so living in France, I went there. Look at me like I'm an expert. I didn't live there. The French were so nice. They were nice. It was beautiful. Paris, forget about it. I mean, the City of Lights, it was gorgeous. We went to all the little places, walked around. They could not have been nicer. How did they get such a bad reputation? You know, you always hear about the French people being rude and everything. I saw none of that.
Joe, do you think that in the rest of the states that New York has a reputation for being nice? We're pussycats. We're delightful. I stop with anyone and say, can I help you know where you're going? I think New York has an unfair reputation, the way that Paris has an unfair reputation. People were delightful to me. They were charming. I was 23. I came there with no family. I came there because I believed in the work.
Yeah.
And I had this instant camaraderie with people who invited me to their homes, helped me if I needed something in my apartment. They were terrific, and I'm forever grateful. In fact, because it was such an extraordinary experience, 6 years ago, we brought Doctors of the World here, and now it exists not far from your studios, Doctors of the World USA.
Yeah, that is great like that. So you're a prominent Democratic strategist.
That's in a former life.
But all right, but I want to ask about, and you're the CEO of Empire Global Ventures.
Yes. You're
bringing jobs to New York. And God bless you for that. We just talked about it, doing it in New Jersey, because all the politicians want to do now, and I like Andrew Cuomo, and I give Governor Murphy, it's too early to judge him, despite what our news guy Al says, bring jobs back. And you have a big initiative in this regard.
We do. And, to bring jobs here, you have to have the educational structure and the openness and the scientific community that encourages people who are looking at innovation to come here. So whether it was CNI Guard, which is a UK-based sensor technology company that we helped bring here 3 years ago, they're now an 8-figure company employing New Yorkers.
Wow.
Whether it's a Canadian company that we're bringing to Buffalo, New York, and doing graphite refining, we are bringing jobs here, but they're coming here because our scientific community is here and our business community works with innovation here. And that's what we need. And by the way, to give Macron some credit, we were talking about Station F in France, this 1,000 startup campus. If you look at it, Amazon, Google, and Facebook are already in there.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary, and kudos to him.
Yeah, we're trying to get Amazon to Newark. You know that? There's a big push like that.
They've got about 20 companies down to their list, right to their final.
Man, we're just hoping that would be great. The jobs, it would create 50,000 jobs.
Any state that could get Amazon would be lucky to have
them.
them.
And the president against Amazon, I think that's a personal thing between the president and Jeff Jeff Bezos.
Do you
Can
think
you get
that's wise on a business level, Joe?
Well, as a guy who uses Amazon all the time, and I understand, it's very, very difficult. I understand what he's doing and how he's doing and the tax ramifications of it all, but I don't know that I would go after Amazon at this point, really. Especially when you could bring them in, to an area like Newark, New Jersey, that's got all the internet, the highest speed internet is under the streets of Newark, New Jersey. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Could you tell your companies to bring some? It's a Jersey guy doing a little push for Jersey,
Okay.
So this is good. So you have high hopes before I let you go with Macron and Donald Trump. This is going to work out well. This is a good partnership.
It's really interesting. It looks like that partnership got cemented from this now historic handshake
that
they
best.
had.
That was the best.
It looked like this bromance got started because Trump clearly thinks that Macron is not a pushover. So let's see how Macron, who's not a dummy, he's really smart. Let's see how he can leverage this.
Yeah. Alexandra Stanton, she is a Democratic strategist, CEO of Empire Global Ventures. And we appreciate you. You come back anytime. Your girl is great, who I ran into on the way out and on the way in, and we appreciate you. Come back anytime,
I'd be
Alexandra.
delighted. Thanks so much for having me.
And I guess John Katzimatidis sends his best. Anybody who's Greek, I have to give personal
Very
regards.
kind.
Very good. Thanks, Alexandra.
Thanks for having me.
God bless.
Everybody knows this guy. Now, everybody knows he can do a radio show. Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.